Alright, so this video is about pretty much just tips on how to use a mulching lawnmower in different scenarios. And this video right here, this particular customer always want the grass cut as low as possible. And I even tried to kind of advise her that I shouldn't cut it too low, but every time I do that, she complains and about why isn't it cut low enough, and last time you cut it lower than this. And so now I just go ahead and just cut it as low as possible. So I'm cutting this yard right here at like 2 inches, and I'll be honest, it makes the job harder when you cutting it this low. It's way more blowing you gotta do. The trimming really not affected, but it takes a lot of time blowing all this stuff off. So I'm pretty much just gonna show some tips on how to make it look good after you're done with a mulching lawnmower. Because if I was bagging all of this stuff, it wouldn't leave nowhere near as many clumps. But I'm not gonna bag yards, I'm not gonna carry a bag with me in my setup just for 1 yard. So I still go ahead and mulch these yards down, even if they ask to get it cut like extremely low. And as you're gonna see in this video, like my tricks of the trade of how I actually do it. And sometimes I actually just cut the yard too low on accident, like it's just like a bad judgment call, and then just leave clumps everywhere in the yard. So basically how I do it is I just make sure that I got the strongest backpack blower. Like if you mulching yards, or if you have like a side discharge where you leave all of that stuff on top of the grass, it's worth it to just get the biggest and baddest blower that you could get. Not just about your ego or nothing like that, because I know a lot of people, even me, I used to think like I could just have a handheld blower, or or just get a backpack blower that's just good enough. But as you can see, these clumps and stuff, this is some heavy stuff right here. You'll be all day trying to do this with equipment that's not as strong as possible. So I would look into getting the strongest one. I think Red Max got the real strong one. Echo. It don't really matter which brand, but just find out which one is the strongest one. Because jobs like this would just take forever. It's just so much, and sometimes you just might accidentally cut it too low. Well, some people they cut high all the time, but I can't do that. If I tried to cut everybody's yard really high, a lot of people would complain and ask me. It would be some people, because I've tried that before, it would be a lot of people who would ask me to cut it again, just because they don't think it's low enough. Because most people where I'm, like the location where I am, is they just want to cut it low as possible so they don't have to deal with the city and just don't have to see it grow back up so fast. So that's most people's objective. Now I do have some customers that just worried about just how it looks, but and a little bit of both. But you got customers like this who just want it cut as low as possible. They just worried about the city being on them, or they do care about how it looks too, but the emphasis is on cutting it as low as possible. And as you can see right here, this is the trick of the trade I was talking about right here. When you got a strong blower, you could just blow the whole yard off. Blow the whole yard off and make it look good. And ain't gotta worry about it. Never gotta bag a yard ever again. You get a strong backpack blower. Usually, and it's usually not this bad. Like this is pretty bad to try to cut this yard all the way down to 2 inches, because I know that's what she would have wanted. But usually, I mean, if I would have cut this yard at 99% of my other customers, I would have cut it about at least a ½ inch higher and wouldn't have had to blow this entire yard off. But when you blowing, it's not just about blowing it off the sidewalk. Sometimes you got to get into the grass and blow the chunks, the clumps out of the yard. Like and subscribe.